Hi there, welcome to Nepi Invest. And yes, I have clicked the record button. I'm seeing a flashing red light. It's a very small flashing red light, but it is there. Anyway, it is the final trading day of the week, May 16, 2025. Time is currently 3:03 p.m. So we just have over 1 hour left of trading today. I always say it's been an interesting day on the market, and I suppose today is no different. Some interesting, intriguing macroeconomic news released today, in particular when it comes to Japan. So I do think there is a chance the market is getting a little bit too excited right now. I still think it's not really pricing in the possibility of any recession, and I still think that's in play. Now, in saying that, Australia did receive some pretty good economic news a few days ago when it comes to the labour market, and I think that means there's less chance of an interest rate cut next week, and there's definitely not a good possibility of I think some experts are saying upwards of 5 interest rate cuts this year. Now, if we see continued healthy, robust labour market, if we see what else happened the other day? There was a labour market. There was something else that really was interesting the other day that just piqued my interest, and I went, "Ooh, that's really interesting," but I can't think of it right now. There you go. That happens when you get old. Your mind just goes bonkers. Anyway, so the agenda of today's video, we'll go through the ASX today, have a look at best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies, and then we'll go through the top 5 stocks of the day, and then actually I won't have a look at any of your questions or comments because I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's answer reply video might be quite long. Now I am going for a long run tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to go to Macpac. Is it called Macpac? Yeah, I think it's called Macpac because I park right near there, and I do want to buy some hiking stuff for my big trip. It's about that time. I have to think about buying some gloves, that sort of thing. And interesting enough, yesterday I went to look at some hikes. I just want to make sure that I have to make sure whether or not I need permits. Yes, sometimes you need permits to do hikes. There are a few hikes where I will need some permits. One in particular in Oregon, it's called South Sister. You do need a wilderness permit, and unfortunately, they only give out 120-day hike permits every single day, and you have to purchase these permits, which cost $1, either 10 days before. So they hand out 40% of permits 10 days before, and the other 60 permits 2 days before. 10 days before this hike, I'm flying in, and so I have to make sure I'm able to get a permit 2 days before. Unfortunately, the hike is on a Saturday, and I have a feeling that's going to be quite popular. So I do need a backup plan. I think my backup plan is to do this hike on a Friday, and that means I won't do 2 other hikes the previous 2 days, which is okay because these are smaller hikes. And what I might do is actually include another hike the following day, or on not Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, on Sunday, not Saturday, but on Sunday. And there is this hike I want to do in Washington, but it's sort of remote. Not many people do it, which fascinates me. It takes about 2 hours driving from when I'll be staying at, and a lot of that drive is dirt road, but it does look fairly spectacular. Now, enough about me. Talk about my hiking, about my trip, because that's all I'll be doing for the next 4 months. Just thinking about it. I've already gone through most of the planning. I just got to think about where I'm going to stay, that sort of thing. Anyway, so you don't really care about that sort of crap. Okay, so onto the ASX today, and we've had a pretty good day. Now, in saying we've had a pretty good day, the market has fallen during the day. So on open, I'm pretty sure the XJO was up over 1%. In fact, it could have been up almost 1.2%. And we have seen a bit of weakness during the day. And I'm just wondering if that's because of Japan. So XJO up 0.54%, small caps up nicely, tech not as much, which is understandable because NASDAQ was down last night, Dow Jones was up, and resources have had a nice bounce as well. In fact, if we have a look at this little page here, we have seen, a nice steady fall in the first few hours of trading. and it's just been gradually going down since then. In fact, tech sector was down at about 11:30 a.m. and it's had a nice little rebound. Not much. Oh, here's a nice one. Buy, hold, sell. 5 companies with powerful earnings potential. This might need a reaction video. 5 companies with powerful earnings potential. What does it mean by powerful? Is that growing earnings potential, or does that just mean earnings are really powerful, really strong? What does strong mean anyway when we talk about earnings? Is there a difference between strong earnings and weak earnings? I don't know. Interesting question to ask myself. Okay, on to the different sectors. I do know. Ooh, I was going to say energy sector should be down a fair bit, but it's not. And the reason I say that is because I had a look at the top gainers and top losers. And when you have a look at the top losers by market cap, there is a common theme at the top of that list there, and it's to do with energy, one particular group of companies within the energy sector. So I'm a little bit surprised energy is down slightly. Not surprised financials is down because, hey, CBA is still the most overvalued company in the history of mankind. And real estate's had a good day. I'm wondering if maybe bond yields went down. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look to see if bond yields went down. Yeah, bond yields down. Or in fact, they were down a fair bit. 1.65% yesterday. Hence, or overnight. Hence, why we've seen a pretty good day in the real estate sector. Healthcare's had a good day. I'm wondering if CSL is back up above $240. Oh, believe. Oh. At 242 doesn't really matter. It's just oscillating around that level. And yeah, other than that, materials, industrials both had a pretty good day. Gold's had a great day. Beautiful. No complaints about that. And that's about it. XTL only up 0.4%. And I'm going to assume 2 of the major banks down, 2 of the major banks up. I'm assuming a pretty good day for the iron ore companies, maybe a pretty good day for Woodside, because if uranium's down a fair bit, and that is the group of companies that had a pretty bad day today, if uranium is down, then the other energy components or companies would be having a pretty good day today. So oil, gas, what's the other one? Coal. So, and other than that, no idea. Oh, I would say Goodman Group's up as well. So let's have a look. Have a look by market cap. And CBA's up, NAB's up, Westpac's up, which means ANZ's down. So in fact, the better value of all the big banks is actually down, not up. BHP's up, CSL, we already know that's up. And yeah, Goodman Group's up 2.72%. Worst performing company, WiseTech, bit of tech there, Macquarie Group, Aristocrat, and Wesfarmers. Funny enough, only 6 companies down. And in fact, Woodside is down, and the best performing companies, yeah, Goodman, CSL, Fortescue, BHP. So there's a bit of an iron ore tinge among the best performers. Okay, so now let's have a look. By the way, I'm really interested in this little 5 companies with powerful earnings potential. I did see this in my podcast list this morning. I did not listen to it, however, but whenever I see it, Life360, interesting. Or they both got to sell. Both got to sell. That's really interesting because Life360 has gone a little bit. These are my 2 guys. I did a reaction video with these 2 as the experts, Mark Whitaker and Will Granger. So they're negative on Life360. ReadyTech, interesting one. Haven't looked at ReadyTech for a while. A hold and a buy, and Breville, sell and a hold. PWR Holdings, which I do own, and Tabcorp. Interesting pick. Not sure about that. Not sure about that one, Mark Whitaker. Okay, onto the top gainers. And I have gone through this. I think I've already mentioned that. Ooh, new peak metals. No, that was peak metals when it went up yesterday. Now it's new peak metals. So I think the investors have just seen new peak metal and went, oh, this is the better peak metals, and now it's up 66.67%. That would be really interesting if that did happen. But don't forget that, remember when GameStop went on a massive run, was that 4 years ago? Tick code of GameStop is I think it was GME. And GME. And then when GameStop went on the massive run, a company on the ASX with a tick code GME went on a massive run. They're no longer listed. And they did receive a price query from the ASX. And they actually mentioned in that price query that the reason the share price was going up was because of GameStop. And they had the same ticket code. So there were a lot of people in Australia who were just buying this mining exploring company because it had the same ticker code as GameStop. So don't underestimate the stupidity of people. So I was just making a joke that Peak Metals or whatever it's called had a really good day yesterday, or maybe the previous day, and now New Peak Metals is having a good day today. I don't think that's happened. I think there's probably another reason, but who knows? Other than that, uh, Appen is on this list. Yeah, okay. So Appen is in my top 5 stocks of the day. I was just a little bit confused because it was like last time I looked, it was only up 17%, and that was like 10 minutes ago before I started recording. So there is a bit of delay between market index and the real time, and there was a little bit of drop in the share price during that 20-minute period. So I just wanted to see what the share price had done since I last looked, and it's up a little bit. A company called ECS Botanics is also in my top 5 stocks of the day. What else? Can we get number 3 here? No, we can't. I'm looking for, oh no, I'm sorry. The other company I thought might have had a big day is not a big day for a good reason. It's not a big day in a good way. It's a big day in a bad way. And we've got to see that when we have a look at the top losers. So let's have a look at top gainers by market cap. There's Aspen. Oh, I'm not staying in Aspen. It's way too expensive. What else? Appen company, newly listed Simmel Group. I'll have a look at that company eventually. Brightstar Resources had a good day yesterday, another good day today. AFTF Pharmaceuticals has a really good day today, but on 735 turnover. It's really interesting. That company has a market cap of 267 million, but very liquidly traded because it's a New Zealand-based company. Core Lithium, above 10 cents. Will it remain above 10 cents? That's the question. If you have a look at all the buys right on 10 cents. They know. Now they know. Look at that. So we've had, the 37 million shares traded today. And so I think a lot of people are just anticipating that 10 cents has been broken for Core Lithium. And that's about it. Now on to the top losers. And I have a feeling the stock of the day could be at the top of this list. Yes, it is. It is the top of the list. Dust Group did release a trading update today. Obvious, not an obvious choice. I was going to say obvious choice for the stock of the day, but not quite so, because I did debate between Dust Group and Appen, but in the end, Dust Group share price has decreased more in absolute terms than percentage terms than Appen's share price has increased. Hence, Dust Group stock of the day. I have not done a standalone video, however. Other than Dust Group, a meager list here of mostly small companies. Yeah, mostly small companies. So if you have a look at the top losers by market cap, oh, and you see common theme here. A common theme, Paladin Energy, Boss Energy, Deep Yellow, Bannerman Energy, not Sierra Resources. In fact, Sierra Resources, graphite. Coronado Global Resources is coal. Finbar Group they mine fins and all bars. And Carnarvon Energy, they mine Carnarvons. Anyway, and Coast Entertainment Holdings, they mine coasts. Okay, so you can see a major theme here. The uranium's had a bad day. I had a look at uranium prices, a slight fall. I think that's a pretty significant drop. I actually did ChatGPT this one. I just wanted to see what ChatGPT would say. And what did it say? It said, I'm not sure how true this is. Key factors contributing to the decline. Cameco's production update. Cameco, a major Canadian uranium producer, announced better than expected production guidance for 2025. Now, one of the problems with ChatGPT is sometimes it is not accurate with the timing of its information. And the reason I say that is I did ask ChatGPT some of the more notable price-sensitive announcements released on the ASX today, and it mentioned Almonty Industries. And this announcement from Almonty Industries was quite a few days ago. It did get a few companies right here, but it said that 4 major price-sensitive announcements released today were from Fletcher Building, share price almost flat, GPT Group, share price up 2%, Almonty Industries, and then it actually also mentioned uranium sector. So let's got that right. But so just because Cameco did release an announcement doesn't mean Cameco announcement or news. We'll do news. surely if they release some good news today, what you could also do is just go to the website, have a look at Invests, and just see if they've released anything. No, not really. I don't know. Shall we just trust ChatGPT? It's right. Something has caused uranium prices to fall a little bit, and that has seen a little bit of turmoil in uranium prices or uranium stocks on the ASX today. Okay, so let's move on. I'm interested in Vita Medical. It just keeps on dropping, and with the market of 137 million, it's looking intriguing at these prices, particularly if it does become profitable and cash flow positive over the next year. So I'm having a closer look at Vita Medical for a potential longer term buy. And I think $2 is an important level, but we have seen the share price of this company continue to drop after their disappointing update the other day. But I think there is potential the market is overreacting. And the other thing I've noticed is time and time again, when the share price of this company drops, you always see a bounce after sort of an extended drop like this. So I do expect a bounce, but the share price also has broken through a support level. But again, the last time share price was this low was back in 2022. And the lows back then were around about $1.30. So it could fall a little bit further from here, but that's 3 years ago. And the company is well better off right now than it was 3 years ago. So I'm just thinking the market might be overreacting to this one, particularly because they're very close to that inflection point. Okay, for some reason my mouse had gone missing. Okay, that's it for the top gainers and top losers. I've already talked about uranium. In fact, uranium was in the number 5 position, and then I saw another announcement, and uranium got taken out of the top stocks of the day by this other company, and that other company is pretty small. It's called the EtherStack. EtherStack, ticker code ESK. Share price up 12.1%. On an announcement that I should usually see. Trading update record first half cash receipts. And yeah, so let's open this one up. Record quarter. Just zoom in on this. Not a company I've not really looked at in depth in the past. Wireless innovation. Let's just have a look at what they do. Wireless technology company specializing in developing, manufacturing, and licensing mission-critical radio technologies for wireless equipment manufacturers and network operators around the globe. They have R&D facilities in Reading, UK, Sydney, New York, and Yokohama. It looks like it should be a much bigger company than it is, but I'm pretty sure this company has a market cap of maybe 50 million, if that. 42.96 million, yeah. So a fairly small company. So interesting announcement from this company in terms of, if you just have a look at recurring revenue here, it's just increasing year on year. And they'll also have forecasts, which I found really intriguing. So they're forecasting their recurring revenue to double in the next 2 years. But record operating cash inflow, by the way, has received in excess of $7 million US dollars, so 11 million in the first half cash receipts, predominantly from project revenues. Revenues for the first half are currently expected to significantly outperform 2024 and currently on target for the first half year revenues to exceed full year financial year 24. Strong deal book and recurring revenues KPI. A few other things. I actually did also, what I did today is I put all the announcements into ChatGPT, and then I just asked, good or bad? That's all I did. And ChatGPT for EtherStack just said a lot of positives here. In fact, it gave 5 positives. Record cash receipts, revenue expected to beat full year, half year revenue expected to beat full year. It also gave a few points in regards to these positive highlights. And it says, in regards to the half year revenue beating full year revenue last year, this is a very bullish indicator. It suggests significant growth and improved projection execution versus last year. Also mentioned a profitability outlook. Management expects solid first half and full year profit. Do they actually mention that in this? Oh yeah, they do. Accordingly, management expects solid half year and full year profit. Strong pipeline and recurring revenue growth. But it also gave some cautions. The new deals aren't locked in yet. Forward-looking commentary is conditional and no specific profit loss numbers yet. The report focuses on cash receipts, not margins or full profit and loss. Okay, and the verdict is, this is good news. If you're a shareholder, this is encouraging. If you're a potential investor, the key will be whether the new material orders land and how much of the cash growth translates to bottom line profits. Okay, so that's Easter Stack, whatever it's called. Now let's have a look at the chart for ESK. What happened to all I have to refresh this because my options on the left-hand side have just disappeared. There they are, sorry. Okay, so, no, that's the wrong one. That's XJO. I want ESK or ESKI. And this is the daily chart. We'll have a look at daily chart. Oh, ooh. It's not a bad looking chart. I like the volume coming in. Really big volume coming in today. It's not really a breakout because the share price was at high levels not that long ago. So we're talking about a few months ago. And if we didn't see the share price go on this run back in January, and this was a good breakout on good volume, this would be a way more interesting chart, but does look like the sentiment has turned around. Now, if you have a look at the weekly chart, there was a massive spike in this company's share price in June 2022, and the share price has been drifting lower ever since then, but starting to drift higher maybe. Anyway, so a pretty good announcement from this company, and the share price is up 12% on a pretty good volume, although the volume is less than 1 million shares traded. That's okay. All right, coming in at number 4, we have a company called ECS Botanics, and share price up 10%. Now, not only, I do have a few negative thoughts about this company. Share price is fairly low. It's at 1.1 cents. So, whenever I see a company below 1 cent, that's an instant massive red flag for me. You're going to get a lot of pip traders, but the share price is above 1 cent, and it's only up 0.1 cents. So, to be honest with you, this could be just up on noise, but there's a few buyers at 1.1. So, share price could go 1.2, and that'll be up 20%. Anyway, let's have a look at this particular company's announcement and why the share price has gone up 10% today, which, to be fair with you, it's not that much. Okay, so record harvest and expansion of premium B2C product line, so business to consumer. Now, this company is one of those small companies that do release Appendix 4C. I have seen, and I'm pretty sure I've done a video on this company in the past, ECS. I've done a few. Introduction to ECS in 2023, and then a quarterly report in February of 2024. There you go. Or another one that I did mention the company in July 2023. So over about a 7-month period, I mentioned this company 3 times and I haven't mentioned this company since. Okay, so let's go back and have a look. Before we have a look at today's announcement, let's just have a look at the most recent Appendix 4C. Did this cause a bit of excitement in the Nepi household? And I'm going to say no. Okay, yeah, no, definitely did not. So the company, nice receipts. I'm assuming growth in receipts, but I could be wrong there. And the company is operating cash flow negative. So I probably saw this and just moved on to the next company. And this is probably why I haven't talked about this company for a year or so, is because they've had a few operating cash flow in negative quarters. So record harvest and expansion of premium B2C product line. By the way, this company is, what do you call it? Marijuana, hemp, cannabis company. I'm pretty sure are they vertically integrated? Can't remember. In fact, I'm gonna have a quick look. Medicinal cannabis. Medicinal cannabis cultivator and manufacturer. So maybe not completely vertically integrated, but getting close. Northwest Victoria utilizes progressive, innovative cultivation methodologies to produce quality medicine in a sustainable way. Okay, so I would classify this company, cultivator and manufacturer, I would classify this company as an agricultural company, maybe. Anyway, so let's have a look. Record harvest. So maybe really good medicinal cannabis growing conditions. Set to exceed financial year 24 production by 50%, with annual output expected to exceed 9.8 1.8 tons at significantly lower production costs. Well, that's a really good start, isn't it? So significantly higher production at significantly lower cost. So they found some scale maybe, and 9.8 tons of, geez, someone's getting high a lot. Uh, for medicinal reasons. Financial year 25 output harvest expected to reach 6 tons. Wait there, including a record 2.6 tons of higher value premium dried flour. The company remains on track to achieve positive cash flow in 2025. So they have to turn that around soonish. Anyway, so a nice update from this company. And again, I put this into ChatGPT just to see what it says, good or bad. And it said good. Positives, talking about the record-breaking harvest, margin expansion. I'm not sure if they talk about that, but in ChatGPT it says lower production costs and greater A-grade yields point towards increased gross margin. So, better scale, that sort of thing. Investment in quality control infrastructure, strong demand and committed sales. I don't think they have to worry about demand for cannabis. Strategic brand moves, path to profitability. So I've mentioned all that. Minor risks and things to watch. Execution risk, expansion in UK. So this will give me some more information that I have no idea about the company. Expansion, if this is right, expansion in the UK, Germany, and B2C space is promising but needs successful rollout and market uptake. Regulatory hurdles, UK and Germany approvals are still in progress. And volatile sector. Cannabis sector can be subject to sentiment swings, regulatory shocks, and pricing competition. Market interpretation, despite no material negatives, shares may still experience short-term volatility. Verdict, good. Overall, the verdict, good. If execution follows as planned, ECS could well be positioned for a significant step up in value creation over financial year 25 and 26. I really do like ChatGPT. Give me some things to think about. My main concern about this company is just the share price, fairly low, so must be a lot of shares on issue. Either there's a lot of shares on issue, or this company has a really low market cap. So maybe market cap of $10 million, 14.26 million. Yeah, ordinary shares on issue, 1.3 billion. So fair few shares on issue. And market cap, though, is fairly low at $14. If it was $14, I would buy the whole company myself. Let's have a look at the chart for this one. And the chart, again, nothing to write home about. Now, yeah, this is a big move. And that's a weekly chart. If you have a look at the daily chart, no. In fact, the share price was at 0.9 cents. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So share price actually fell a fair bit yesterday. Imagine that. You sold out yesterday, big volume coming through. Someone got that wrong. Share price fell 17% yesterday at a low of 0.9 cents. And just imagine you sold out a lot yesterday and then you received this news. So anyway, that's whatever this company is called. ECS Botanics. Coming in number 4. Coming in number 3, CCG, Comms Group. Share price down 5%. I find this interesting. Comms Group have announced an acquisition, and I like this acquisition, strategic acquisition of business and assets of TasmaNet. I like the price of this acquisition. Not only that, they gave some sort of pro forma update of how the company will look after this, will perform after this particular acquisition, and revenue of $75 million per annum, and underlying annualized EBITDA of $9 to $10 million. But my main reason I like this acquisition, I don't know much about TasmaNet, but they did acquire this particular business at 2 times or 2.5 times analyzed EBITDA, which seems like a really nice price for this sort of acquisition. Now, they will be doing a capital raising via placement and underwritten non-renounceable entitlement offer and committed 10. Why is the share price not in a trading hold? I thought maybe the share price should be in the trading hold. Unless they, I was going to say unless they already did announced the placement, but they haven't. So I did like this announcement. Also put this into ChatGPT, and what did ChatGPT say? It said, oh, it had a nice little table here. Oh, I should show you this. Instead of, because the table is nice. Where is it? Comms Group. here it is. Had this nice little financial impact, pro forma combined. So yeah, underlying EBITDA from 5.6 million to 9.10 million. And it looks like Tasmaanet has better margins because revenue 19 million, underlying EBITDA 4 million. The previous Comms Group company had 55 million of revenue, $5 to $6 million of EBITDA. Recurring revenue, Tasmaanet has a lot of recurring revenue. Gross margins greater than 50% for Tasmaanet. So it looks really good. Establishes a strong foothold in Tasmania, expands reach across Eastern Australia, nice customer base, infrastructure assets, doing a fairly big capital raising. It's at 5 cents. That's probably why the share price has dropped, because capital raising is at 5 cents. And yeah, this is really nice how ChatGPT has done this. They have really simplified the announcement. Share dilution, they've even got a share dilution part. 139.7 million new shares, 36% increase in shares on issue, and then some dates. Investment outlook, positives, and then a bit of risk as well. Pretty nice from whatever you call this, ChatGPT. The other thing I want to look at is just the markup of this company. I'm assuming it's 75 million. I'm going to have a guess. 75 million. Wow, I was way off from that one. 22.25 million. Is the market missing this company? Let's have a look. Is there any excitement in the chart? Because the company has positive EBITDA, a revenue of 70 million. And if you have a look at the chart, it's just all over the place, isn't it? Weekly chart, going sideways over the past 5 years. Almost literally going sideways over the past 5 years. Listed in 2018, massive drop in share price. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, I think. Anyway, so that's Comms Group. Appen had the AGM 2-day share price up 19.11%. There was something in this announcement I did like. Now, one of the reasons why the share price is up is because in their outlook, if I can find it here somewhere, yeah, here it is, their outlook, financial year 25 guidance. This revenue was, I thought it was sort of like not much of a miss or beat, but apparently, according to some other sites I have read, that this was a beat. This was an increase in revenue guidance. So $235 to $260 million in revenue, positive underlying EBITDA. Now, that's not the sort of thing that's going to get me excited. Now, the thing that will get me excited is longer term targets. This is the sort of thing I like. This is the sort of thing I'm drawn to when a company has longer term goals. Now, I would prefer if it was longer, like financial year 30, but they are targeting 20% 3-year revenue CAGR to financial year 27 and 10% underlying EBITDA margin by the same year. And now I'll also put this into ChatGPT. Now, initially it said, what did it say? While specific details from the AGM are not publicly available at this time, substantial stock movement suggests that investors responded positively. Yeah, just sort of, but there was specifics about the AGM. I just had to tell ChatGPT that. And it gave us some good reasons for the share price surge, but I didn't really like most of them. I really like the outlook. That's the only thing it did give was the outlook, but pretty good. I do like this from Appen. Still not a fan of the company. Still not a fan of the company, and I do question whether they're able to achieve these targets. The company really has to change their business model. Probably doing that or trying to do that right now. And the other reason I don't like this company is just the amount of volatility we see in the share price, and it seems more like a trading stock. When I say trading stock, I don't mean how I trade. I mean day traders are loving this company right now. And the other thing is it's still really expensive. 300 million, 400 million market cap. Yeah, $389 million market cap for a company that there's a lot of risk. That's a little bit too rich for me, even if I do like that they have released financial year 27 targets. And if you just have a look at the share price or the chart, it's been going on a wild ride the last probably year and a bit. Well, if you have a look at the weekly chart, it's been going on a wild ride since they listed, and it's like a Matterhorn pattern. But if you have a look at the daily chart, yeah, look at that. It's just share price fell like a rock when they released results in February. Now it's rising. And yeah, I would not be surprised if this day traders just in this And then if day traders start to get out, share price will drop. So no interest in me for this one, even though I do like their goals. Okay, coming in at number 1, the stock of the day is Dusk Group. Share price down 24.79%. I was trading this not that long ago, and then I got out, and now I'm happy that I got out. Trading update. I thought this was going to be good, and I thought, oh, this share price is going to pop up. The one thing that stuck out to me was margins or gross profit. So sales, nice increase, $12 million increase from $126.7 million to around about $138 million. Underlying EBIT from $6.2 million to about $7 to $8 million. Net inventory, $15.5 million to $15 to $17 million. Net cash, a drop there. So from $20.8 million to between $18 and $20 million. But the big one here was gross profit percentage, which is gross profit margin, expected to be 50 to 100 basis points lower on financial year 24. So whenever I see lower gross margins, that is a major red flag. That is the thing that struck me when I read this one. And I was a little bit interested to see how the market reacted today, because that was my main takeaway from this. Decreased margins. And I don't like to see that. Funny enough, I also put this into ChatGPT, and it said, the 20% share price drop is likely due to a combination of investor disappointment, I don't know about that, and margin pressure. So talking about the margin pressure, decreased margins. Anyway, so in fact, they also produced, ChatGPT also produced a nice little chart. So let's do that. Let's have a look at this one. Dusk Group. Here it is, nice little table. Key negatives during the share price drop: gross profit margin. Margin dropping is a red flag in retail. Even if sales are up, declining profitability worries investors. In fact, margin dropping in any sector is a red flag. And they talk about underlying EBIT, net cash, and inventory. Inventory flat may raise questions about product turnover or demand. And also net cash deterioration in cash position could raise concerns about cash generation. In fact, that's exactly true. Investor psychology factors. Wow, ChatGPT is giving psychology factors. Turnaround fatigue. Investors may be growing impatient. This is another update talking about future improvements, financial year 26, not current performance. Margin pressure, mooted EBIT despite revenue growth, retail risk aversion. So there you go. And that's why the share price is down at 25%. Is this an overreaction from the market? Could be. I didn't think it would be down this much, but there you go. Let's have a look at the chart for Dusk. I thought this one was starting to turn around. Well, maybe not starting. It's been turning around for a while. And there's definitely a bit of a nice bounce here. And this was a really good one because a really nice chart. So I had this long-term downtrend, this sloping dashed line going from 2021 all the way through to 2024. Share price during that period decreased from $3.60 down to below $1. And the share price, every single time it hit the downtrend line, it bounced down. It went down. It did about 5 times until the 18th of July last year. Share price popped up 29.66%. It broke above the downtrend line, and that was a trend killer. Beautiful trend killer. Then share price went on a run, but you can see the share price hasn't really been doing much over the past, we'll say, 6 months. In fact, 8 months. And today, share price has reached a multi-month low. So not a good day for Dusk Group. Share price down to 88 cents. 87 cents. Okay, so that is the top 5 stocks of the day. And I'm going to finish the video there. So I have already hearted all the comments I want to talk about in tomorrow's answer reply video, but I'm going for that long run. I'm also going to MacPack or something. So I'm not sure when I'll record that video. Hopefully I can record that video between about 10:30 and say midday. But I did heart a lot of your comments. I just find it really hard not to heart a comment. And I have hearted a lot. In fact, I'm going to count them right now. No, you don't want to see me count. 1, 2, 3. No, that's boring. Okay, if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of any video you do watch. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.